Okay, so single top tube, it all comes in, it's narrow, it's down fairly low. And we want to get the seat in there, so we need a tube to go from there to there. This is going to want drilling, plugging and stuff as well. So I get some idea what we're doing at. Right, so with the seat approximately there, that wants to come roughly here. And the rail wants to drop down to about where we put the bend line. So it goes like that, comes up in, meets about here. Bottom of the seat's roughly there. So the seat rail wants to come down to about here and kick up to about there. Hopefully following the seat, something like so. It's going to take a measurement and see if we can figure that out. Okay, so there's a couple of seat rails. If I offer that up, give me some idea where I want the bend to be. Measure from there back to the line, that's 6 inches. It should be a little long, so if I make it 6.5, that's cool. Now what I'll do is work out what I want the angle of bend to be. So for that, since I finished Fika Weevil today, piece of aluminium, anything I do for that doesn't have to be aluminium welded rod. Bend it around the edge of the seat and tweak it up a bit tighter until it follows the seat. Whew. That'll be something like it. Now let's compare this to my test bend for a radius. And that's not horrible either. You can see that now. I could probably zoom that in the edit. Okay. So I've got an angle. Okay. And that sorts that out. Okay, so I've degreased the seat rails with a bit of WD-40, dropped them on my foot, took the grease factory rubbish off with the WD. We can have a look at bending it now. You'll notice the improved technique for not sticking a pen in your mouth and talking. Enough trouble breathing as it is. Right, there it is. What we need to do now is find the guide. Lock that in, put that on there. And pump away. Probably turn the gravity down a bit. Okay, once again, I'm going to mark the bender. Right. Quite a lot of the time with bending, if you're not too concerned about the accuracy of the bend, you're concerned about matching pairs of bends. So, if you ever bend something and go too far, you can bend it back, tweak it back. But when you bend it, the bend does this, and you get the radius on there. When you tweak it back, that radius opens out and it changes. So, if you bend the second one to the right angle, it won't match the first one that you bent to the right angle and tweaked it back. So for things like frame rails, it's always better to bend them both wrong and tweak them both back, Ideally it's better to spend the light in the first place, but that ain't always going to happen, so it is what it is. And now I'm going to punish this with a hammer to extricate my seat rail. Which was less aggravation than you might have imagined. And we can check that. It's got potential. Okay, let's see if we can make another one. They're pretty similar, if not identical. Okay, it's not ideal, but it's not the worst one you saw in your life. Oh. So the next thing is start thinking about welding that top tube extension off and cutting this seat rail in. Right, so been a stormy couple of days. Didn't really worry me because I was laid up on the sofa, hardly able to breathe. So back in the workshop, back on the seat rails. If I put this on top of where I want it, it's going to give me an idea where to cut everything, basically. So in an ideal world, where you can see that I want that lining up with that meeting that at that sort of an angle. So I'll move that back a bit. I'm still going to go that way. What you can never really do with this is guess it, and the more you guess it, the better you get at it. So I'm going to put a mark on the top like that, which lets me know when ice is in the vise and I'm trying to cut it off, that should be at the top. And I'm going to go like that. I'm using my little finger to pick a guide out from the tube. So hopefully that line should be where we need to cut it. Okay, so that's seat rail and the vise. This is the pen mark for 12 o'clock position. Looks weird, but if you come around here and think about how it's all going to be, the direction of the cut here, that is sticking more or less straight up in the air from there. It's all great, it's all groovy. The only snag is we obviously can't cut it like that because the vise is in the way. We don't really want it. So 18 TPI blade because it's quite a thick old tube. I'm probably going to elbow the crap out of the camera now as I try and saw this off. But yeah, I will. You don't want to be sawing it like this. You don't want to be sawing it like that. You want to be sawing it with the saw vertical, so it's going in that plane. Right, so make sure you pick up the bottom bit, the same place as the top one. I'm going to move the camera a minute. Hold on. Okay, so now it's a matter of going back, seeing how that fits, coming back over here, making it, adjusting it, and so on. That's actually pretty good. I can slide back a little bit. So the next thing to do is, see, I swear to God that every time you put the Sharpie down, it falls through an interdimensional porthole. There's like a Sharpie word somewhere. I don't manage to put this Adams there. So let's cut that. Right. So I drop that off there. Eventually it's going to need come down there to match up with this rail, but for now I can just chop it off there. Something like that. That line there, if you can see that, that line there is the plane the cut needs to be in. So that's the angle it needs to go at. So clearly it's going to be another weirdo cut scenario. Okay, that didn't take long. Trick is putting the vice with that pen line vertical. Okay, my pointer at the camera, yeah. But it's obviously going to be screwed this way because that's in the vice jaws. So all you do is you stand over there and you cut it on that angle. You don't cut it square across the vice, you cut it on an angle. And with any luck, and this is the first fit, let's just see, that goes in there. Oh, okay. Not so shabby. And then we're starting to look something like it. If you look at this, that there goes really thin. So this point needs flushing off, so it's basically somewhere around the wall thickness to the tube. So, because if you weld that, that's just going to burn away. It's not going to penetrate. It's not going to be attached to anything. It's just going to be rubbish, in fact. So that's going to need a bit working on too. So you've got like the full thickness of the metal there and there now, whereas just before you had the point. This has all got like a bit weird, so it wants rounding off. So we'll do that. These probably want rounding off too, but I can do that in a minute when you're not looking. Okay, that looks something like it. Lightly tack that in place. Yeah, seat's going to hang a bit over the edge of the frame, I'm afraid. At the moment it's got to be deemed to be close enough for government work. Now this is tapered because you've got a nice bevel to get the weld into. There's a bit of a gap at the bottom so you can catch the sleeves. It's not entirely essential, but it's helpful. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plugs. Start making these top shock mounts there. The cardboard aided design. Love it. The new shock this side, this one here, is taking all the load because the other ones are out of air. So I suppose what I'll do is wheel it back inside and knock that top mount up. So after a certain amount of messing around so we could get a look at the thing, what we obviously do now is make the top shock mounts. They're basically like that. And I need 4 of them. Now the idea, if I make 4 identical ones, then I can attach the top of the shock on the side that I've made, weld it up to the point where I'm happy it's going to take the weight, if nothing else, and I've got a position and I bolt the plates to the top of the shock, so once that's all sorted out, I can be fairly confident it's all in the right place. You're never going to get dead right with the bandsaw, so that is close enough. Again, we take the push stick, come straight edge, put it through there, and mark that. And that last bit at the end where it jumped, that's why you need a push stick. Right, this is the radius we've got to make. And as you can see down in there, it's not very groovy at all. However, if I haven't dropped it on the floor, over here we have I don't remove a lot of metal, but they do get the shape you want. Having scratches running along the face rather than across it results in less cracks. You might think that's a bit picky, but ask anybody that flew on a comet. Okay, this is this was like the master one. Because I've traced around it, then the other three, there's a lump just here, and the other three are all outside of that lump, which is making life a bit unfortunate because it means I've got to remove more metal than I'd like. Damper's got the 10mm bush at the end. These go on that way round, that goes through there, that gets through the eye, which is a bit of a struggle, to be honest. And it all ends up sitting about there. Right. In case you're wondering what it's all about, so reach over it. Acquire a camera. Never ever going to get up there again, you know that, don't you? Yeah. Okay, so the idea is to get it so it was cut so it's sewn on the centre line of the tube. I filled a little tachometer to hold that in place. Talking of which, let's go and weld it. That's almost like a real one now. Okay. So at that juncture, I'm going in. You'll take care of yourselves, and I shall see you in the next one.